Hi, welcome. My name is Julie, and I'm really glad that you're here for Parent Break. I am pre-recording this Parent Break because I'm coming to you from a hotel room in Oslo, Norway. And while I normally come from Calgary, Alberta, what I found out this week is that in northern Norway, the indigenous people here are called the Sami people. And I'm committed to learning more about and from the original people where I live, and I encourage you to join me in that commitment. So today at Parent Break, as always, we will do a little bit of movement, we will do some meditation, and we'll do some journaling, and then I'll also have a parenting tip for you as well. And before we continue with that, I usually start with an opening question. So that's where we'll be right now. So my opening question for you today is, who is the go-to problem solver in your family? Who is the go-to problem solver in your family? Give some thought to that. I think in our family, a lot of the times it goes back and forth, but it really depends what kind of problem it is. But maybe you'll find that in your family, you can name one or two people and just give that some thought, and that'll take us into today's theme. Before we go any further, though, we'll do a little bit of movement. And I have been carrying a very heavy backpack across countries this last week. So my back and shoulders are quite sore. So that's where we're going to spend some time for our movement today. Maybe the same is true for you, but maybe you're carrying some tension there anyway. So we'll just bring the chin down towards the chest, nice and slowly. And then bring it up again. So the chin is driving this movement. And this time we'll take that chin down. And then we'll take it over so right ear comes to right shoulder. And then we'll just circle the head back up nice and slowly. And then the chin will come down again. And we'll take left ear to left shoulder and up. We'll go down again. One more time on each side. And down. I don't know if you're seeing the way my muscles are spasming while I'm doing this. I hope not. Let's take an inhale and turn over the left shoulder. Take an inhale back to center. And exhale, turning over the right shoulder. And back. Let's keep the head still and let's invite the eyes to turn all the way to the left shoulder. So the eyes looking left as far as they can go, and then bringing it back. And then eyes looking over the right shoulder as far as they can go. Head stays forward as we exhale and inhale again. And then let's go head turns to look over the left shoulder, and you might have a little bit more range of motion as you turn. And inhale back to center. And look to the right. And inhale back to center. We'll take the arms up, and one arm's going to go backward, slowly down. And then the other arm backward, slowly down. And then we'll take the left arm up, and we're going to follow it with our eyes. Slowly down, right arm up, follow it down. Let's bring our shoulders in and just exhale as much as we can. Open. Inhale, and we'll close. And we'll open. And just circle the shoulders a little bit, and there's our movement. Hopefully you have a little bit more freedom of movement in your neck and shoulder area. So we're going to go into our meditation. So 3 things to think about. Number 1, check your area and just make sure that there are no distractions for you in that space. Number 2, you're going to need something to write on and something to write with. When we come out of the meditation, we're going to go into 8 minutes of private journaling, and I'll give you a prompt for that. And the last thing is that I'm going to turn my camera off so that I can push some buttons here, but I will be back with you for the journaling. So I hope you have a nice meditation, and I'll see you on the other side.
Hello and welcome. My name is Julie, and I'm really glad that you're here taking a parent break. If your eyes are open, I invite you to close them gently, and let's take 2 square breaths together to move from the outside inward. We'll inhale, float, exhale, drift. Inhale, float, exhale, drift. Today, our focus is drama. Drama can be entertaining when it's at a theater or on a screen, but when it happens in our personal, school, or work lives, it can be exhausting. Drama can sweep any of us up and carry us to places we do not wish to go. Emotions lead the way, and that can feel very overwhelming. During this time together, I invite you to join me in this visualization journey. We'll break drama down into its components and then find a way to get rid of it. Before we go any further, see if you can recall the latest drama that happened in your world. Maybe between adults, maybe between children, or other people in your family. Now that you have it in mind, and before it begins to feel too overwhelming, let's take 1 breath together and release the tension. We'll inhale and release. Let's imagine that the characters in your drama are 3 dolls or figures sitting in front of you. The first component of any drama is the victim. This is someone with no responsibility. They were just sitting there, and something or someone bad just happened to them. Can you find the figure in your drama that is the victim? The next component is the villain, the person who is or did the bad thing. Can you find that figure in your drama? Who will you label the villain? Often the villain won't take responsibility for their actions. They are just doing what they do. They often believe the victim was just asking for it. The last component is sometimes not on the scene. They may be an outside authority figure. This person is the hero. This person is just trying to make everything right for both the victim and the villain, smoothing the way. Parents often play this role. Who plays the hero in your drama? 3 actors, 3 points on a triangle. The fascinating thing about a drama is that the roles can change. If a hero starts getting mad at the villain could see the hero as a villain and themselves feel like a victim. Roles are often changing in a drama. Responsibilities are always imbalanced. The hero had to get mad at the villain. It was just part of the role. Sometimes the hero takes on all the responsibility and leaves none to the villain or the victim. Looking at these figures and roles as characters in front of us, it's easier to see that no one is taking the right amount of responsibility. The way off of the drama triangle is for each person to take responsibility for their own stuff. Of course, we can't make someone else take responsibility, or else we are taking their responsibility. We can, however, take responsibility for our own part of the problem. Looking at the figures in front of you, choose one and imagine how they could accept responsibility. Is there something they could say or do? Is there somewhere else they could go? Once one person takes responsibility in the drama triangle, it is no longer a triangle or a full drama. We're going to leave these characters here and take a breath together now to move forward with the rest of the day. Let's inhale and release. We've been discussing the work of Dr. Stephen Karpman. This is my interpretation of his drama triangle. I hope it's been helpful for you to see how you can talk about drama amongst the adults or children in your world. If you're joining me here live at Parent Break, we're about to do some personal and private journaling for the next 8 minutes. And if you're joining us on a replay on Insight Timer, I invite you to do the same. I'm so glad that you took today's parent break.
Welcome back. So we're about to go into our 8 minutes of journaling. And just before we do that, I want to give you the prompt. So the prompt for the journaling today is: explore your role in the repeating dramas in your family. How might each player take responsibility? Explore your role in the repeating dramas in your family, just presuming there are some, and how might each player take responsibility, or maybe consider your own role and see how you might choose to take responsibility. Okay, we've got 8 minutes of journaling. See you on the other side. got caught up in that journaling process today. I hope you did too. I hope you found some interesting revelations. So I just want to take a little bit of time to share my parenting tip with you around drama. And then, of course, if you have any questions or any thoughts or comments, you're welcome to leave them in the comment section wherever you happen to see this video. So there are a couple of tips that I wanted to share with you around drama. The first is personal, for you and your life, not necessarily that of your children. And for me in my life, which is the first thing I want to help you to do is to notice when you are in a drama. So how do we notice that? Well, I'll tell you the way I noticed it, and maybe that can be a key for you. For me, what I noticed is that I would be sitting talking to my husband and I would say things like, "You will not believe what happened to me today," or "You will not believe what those people did to me today," whoever those people were. It might be a committee that I was on or somebody I was working for or something like that. And I started to notice that I use that language a lot. "You would not believe what those people, the villains, did to me, the victim, today." And as I noticed that pattern, I was like, wow, every single time I do that and I make them the villain and me the victim, I am on the drama triangle. And so then I got to the point where I would start to tell my husband that, and then I would just stop and say, no, I got to find the way to take responsibility here. What can I do in this scenario and move forward? So being aware of that helped me to realize when I was in the drama. And a lot of the time I play the victim in dramas. I think when my kids were younger, I played the hero. And there are times when I do play the hero. If I can see a problem going on, I'm usually a person to try to come in, fix it, help both parties feel safe, and see if I can overtake responsibility. So from a hero perspective, but oftentimes I'm also playing the victim. And I suppose that the people with whom I'm interacting paint me as the villain a lot of the time. So we can all take all of those roles. So have an opportunity or take the opportunity to consider pieces of language that remind you that you're on the drama triangle, because then you can find a way off. And then the other one is, and this is more of a parenting, more of a practical tip, is just this idea that we can use this drama triangle explanation with kids who are quite young, like 5-year-olds, 5-year-olds probably. Anybody who can see that there's more than one perspective in a situation. And so from there, we can say, okay, so who are the players on the triangle? How does each person get off of the triangle? How do they take their own responsibility? What could each person do? And we can start doing that with TV shows. We can start doing that with movie characters. We can start doing that with book characters. So we don't have to make it so personal for a child that they feel like we're criticizing them or attacking them. We can just start talking about this idea of drama. How does it look and how do we solve it? And then we can start to notice when our kids are in a drama and they're coming home and they're telling us what happened, and often they're feeling the victim and expecting us to take the role of hero. We can help them to start to see how they could solve the problem for themselves. And that was something I was writing about today, and I don't know if you came to this as well, but today I had to solve a problem. We got to a new country. My cell phone wasn't working in this country. And 9 times out of 10, I would ask my husband to solve that problem for me because he's the tech person. And whenever I have a tech problem, I just hand it over to him. But this time around, I decided I was going to figure it out for myself. And I did figure it out for myself, and I got it working, thanks to the lovely woman who helped me on the service side. And I feel really good that I did that. And what I realized was when we're stepping in and solving problems for the other people and allowing them to continue to be victims and villains, and we step in and play the role of the hero, they never learn what it feels like to solve their own problems. They never learn how it feels to say, I can solve my own problem. And so if we want to be raising problem solvers in our family, we need to give our kids the opportunity to solve problems, whether it's very realistic problems like you just spilled milk all over the floor, or there's milk on the floor, how are we going to solve this problem, to these bigger drama situations where we're in a situation that really needs to be solved. How can we each take responsibility for this? And again, that's the thing where you can say, how can we each take responsibility? If they say, I don't know, you can say, well, my part in this story is da 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 da. So I'm going to take responsibility here. Does that give you an idea about what you can do? So we can support them along. Here's the way you might be able to do it. Here's another way you might be able to do it. Here's something you might say. So we can guide them in learning how to do it. And that really is our job as parents a lot of the time, especially with our teens, our older children. We can be guiding them, mentoring them along the way. And so the last thing that I will say about this, if I could remember what it was. Darn it, I can't. I'll put it in the comments if I do remember. But I really, really encourage you to consider the drama triangle, see how it can work in your family, and start to decrease the amount of drama that's happening, because it takes so much energy that you could be using in many other ways to just have fun getting along better and have everybody taking their own responsibility. Thank you for joining me in this parent break. I look forward to seeing you live next time. So we'll see you on Wednesday mornings, 9 a.m. to 9:30 Mountain Daylight Time, when I'm back in Mohkinstsis in Calgary, Alberta next week. Take care. Thanks for joining me for this parent break.